Hey everyone, this is a posing for your environment indoors. I am not going to be doing too much showing off with my body. We're going to be showing a lot of pictures examples in this video while I'm talking. We are in the Washington State Convention Center and there is already a gala going on, so we don't want to interfere too much. So we're going to do as best as we can describing and showing pictures during this video. Obviously, most cons are held either in a hotel or a convention center like this one, and we're going to talk about how to work with indoor environments if it's a necessity because the weather is bad or just because you want to. So the first thing that we like to play with when we're indoors is reflections, and obviously the most obvious one is a mirror. If there's a mirror available, whether it's in your hotel room or in like a lobby somewhere or something, you could do something cool where you're looking at yourself and it could be something soft and the photographer is coming from the side or the back of you. You could touch the mirror. Anything, whatever applies to your character if it does. Another thing you can do is a reflection with windows. And I'm not gonna go into too much depth about how it works and everything because that's just getting into photography stuff. But if the lighting conditions are right, you can get a really good reflection from a window, whether you're inside or outside. And what you can do is you can be up against the window and the photographer can come from this side and you'll have a double of yourself back to back. You can be the side and like this, and you can also turn obviously towards the reflection and face it yourself. We like to use reflections when we can because it definitely adds something a little more fun and you can get really creative with it, especially if you're in an environment like this where it's very gray and there's not a lot going on. This can possibly save you. So something that a lot of hotels or convention centers have is a huge artwork that is usually hanging out in the lobby-ish area or side hallways, and you can actually do a lot with that. Obviously, they typically don't go to the ground, so you won't be able to get a full body shot because that'll kind of ruin the illusion of this cool artwork behind you. But you could do a waist up shot, and it could be anything from serious, beautiful, sexy, cute, kind of romantic or anything. But it just adds just something else to the picture or your character, especially because a lot of hotels and convention centers can start looking the same if you start going to a bunch of cons. And something like this can be really fun when you're just looking for something bright and exciting. So something that we like to do with bigger windows or cool ornate doors is to kind of structure yourself in them. And what that means is you can press up against things. So you can press up if there's a window frame and be in it, box yourself, lean up against something, if it's a door or a cool ornate elevator, you can lean into it or stretch yourself out. And it's something cool, especially if the window or the door has a cool design on it, because it's the artwork. It adds some sort of dimension to the picture, and you get to do fun stuff with it, the stretching yourself out, which I think can be different. Sometimes when you're in a exceptionally cool hotel or convention center, you don't really have to try too hard. Sometimes it can be fun to look at special features, whether it's a crazy grand staircase that has marble pillars with a thing on top, or something just like a huge chandelier in the background that you can position yourself in front of, and with the compression of the lens it'll be behind you. Just something outstanding that could stand out. And like I said, sometimes you don't have to try that hard. If a hotel is super old, you'll be oh my god. But if you look for those things and position yourself appropriately, whether it's a staircase, you can look at when we're posing outside here, how to pose the staircases, how to just pose naturally by yourself, and that we've kind of discussed things like that. A lot of hotels obviously have places to sit. Some hotels have really cool chairs that can either go really high in the back or a really nice couch or anything like that, and you can recline in it, or you know, you can, if you're like a girly character, you can cross your legs or be prim and proper in the chair or something like that. And really like things like that. If it's a really nice and ornate piece, you can feature it and feature yourself while you're on it. Don't worry about posing while sitting down. We're actually going to make a video with how to pose while sitting. So that's something that we're going to go over in a couple videos. I don't know when we're going to film it, but soon. So I'm not going to go over it too much. But I don't think a lot of people take the opportunity to do something while sitting in a really badass chair. And I think it's something you should look for the next time you are at a con and you're in a hotel. If you're really lucky, like Kevin and I were at Anime Expo this past summer, there will be something already set up at the hotel. And what I mean by that is maybe there's a wedding going on or some sort of other special event that is not the con. When we were at, I think it's the Biltmore Millennium at Anime Expo, there was a wedding set up and it was freaking gorgeous. And the bridal party had already left. Everybody was in a different room on the other side of the hotel doing the reception. And Kevin and I and our cosplaying friend Haley were just kind of checking it out. And one of the workers cleaning it up was like, "Hey, you guys want a photograph in here?" We're like, "Yeah." And it ended up being this really nice shot that we wouldn't have gotten if we weren't at the Biltmore Hotel after this random wedding. Now, obviously that doesn't happen a lot. That was clearly a very special situation, but it can happen, and you should be ready to just like bust in there and like start posing. I think we also were lucky that the character was very light and delicate, because the wedding, you know, was very obviously light and delicate, so it matched. So we didn't have a problem with posing. We just did it very soft and simple. But if you come across a situation like that and you are able to take some quick shots in there, just do it. Don't hesitate. Do it seriously, because it will be different from everybody else's. If you are comfortable with the photographer, or you've talked it over and you are bringing a friend, it can be fun to shoot inside of a hotel room. We don't do it very often because, actually I don't know why, but it can be really fun because hotels are typically pretty nice. Obviously, like your hotel room, if you're a cosplayer, it's gonna be like messy because you just like are getting ready and you're just like, oh my god, what the fuck. But the photographer's hotel room will typically be pretty still in semi-good shape. So if it's something you've discussed before or you've worked with a photographer before and you're comfortable with it, hotel rooms can be really fun because you have they always have like white curtains. You can wrap yourself in the white curtains and it makes a diffused light. It can be really like nice and airy. You can do something on the bed if you're comfortable with that. You can do something with the furniture inside of the room, which sometimes can typically be pretty cool. So if that's something you're interested in, we encourage that, and it's something that we've kind of been looking to do, but we haven't really had the chance because our hotels are typically kind of further away from the con and not as close. So yeah. Okay, I hope this helped you a little bit. I'm really sorry I couldn't do more posing stuff, but it definitely helps when I'm in the situation to do posing. But I hope the pictures that we have taken have helped you and given you some ideas of what to do indoors when you're kind of floundering. We really want to do something with how to pose while sitting or laying down, and how to work with different types of weather, because obviously when you go to cons, the weather is not going to be perfectly bright and cloudy all day. Sometimes it rains, sometimes it snows, sometimes it's a freaking hurricane. So that's something we want to touch base with. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and we'll see you guys next time.